Welcome to Mental Models Daily, where we explore one mental model each day to help you elevate your daily decision-making. Today, we're diving into a fascinating paradox that affects nearly every project we undertake, Hofstadter's law, which states that things always take longer than you expect, even when you take into account Hofstadter's law. Hofstadter's law is a self-referential observation about time estimation, first introduced by Douglas Hofstadter in his 1979 book Gödel, Escher, Bach. It's like a Russian nesting doll of time management. Each time you think you've accounted for delays, you need to account for even more delays. This concept matters because it helps us understand why we consistently underestimate how long tasks will take, even when we're aware of our tendency to underestimate. A classic historical example of Hofstadter's law in action is the construction of the Sydney Opera House. Initially planned to be completed in 1963 for $7 million, it wasn't finished until 1973 and cost $102 million. Even after multiple revised estimates, each new timeline proved insufficient. It's like trying to fill a bucket with water when the bucket keeps getting bigger. Every time you think you're close to the top, you realize there's more space to fill. In the modern business world, Microsoft's Windows Vista operating system development perfectly illustrates this law. Initially planned for a 2003 release, Vista was repeatedly delayed and finally launched in 2007. Despite Microsoft's extensive experience in software development and accounting for potential delays, the project still took significantly longer than anticipated. It's like planning a cross-country road trip and consistently discovering new detours, even after adding buffer time for expected traffic. Let's explore 3 ways to thoughtfully work with Hofstadter's law in our daily lives. First, implement the multiply by pi rule. Whatever time estimate you come up with, multiply it by 3.14. It's like packing an extra set of clothes for a weekend trip. You might not need them, but you'll be grateful if you do. Second, break down large projects into smaller, measurable milestones. By tracking progress in smaller increments, you can better gauge overall timeline accuracy. It's like eating an elephant one bite at a time. The task becomes more manageable and easier to estimate. Third, maintain a delay diary to document and learn from past estimation errors. Record your initial estimates and actual completion times to improve future predictions. It's like keeping a cooking journal. Each attempt helps you better understand how long recipes really take. In conclusion, Hofstadter's law reminds us that time estimation is inherently tricky and often self-deceptive. While we can't eliminate our tendency to underestimate, we can become more aware of it and build in appropriate buffers. The key is to use this model proactively, recognizing that its power lies in helping us plan more realistically and manage expectations better. Thank you for joining me today on Mental Models Daily. Until next time, may your estimates be realistic and your timelines be generous. For more mental models, please visit mentalmodelsdaily.com or find us on X or Instagram. Our podcast music was provided by the Podcast Host.com and Alitu, the podcast maker. Find your own free podcast music over at thepodcasthost.com/freemusic.